Hi guys, I'm Stasia Patwell, and this is now I feel like I just looked.
Yeah, that was really dorky.
Okay, try it again. Okay.
I can't introduce myself.
Okay.
You do have to introduce me.
Yeah.
And
Hi,
I'm
guys.
Lara Beitz.
I've been living on a rock in the middle of the sea way too long. Okay. Hi guys. I'm Stasia Patwell, and this is Lara Beitz. And I'm here today because I decided I recently moved back. Well, now I'm like, should I look at the camera?
We were talking to them.
Yeah, I'm talking to them. I recently moved back to LA from Greece, and I'm so excited to finally be understood every time I say something that I figured I should just start a podcast so people can listen to me and understand what I'm saying. And I don't really have a plan for this. I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to speak English with other native English speakers. And I understand what that might sound like, but it's truly just, I'm so happy to be home. And, I just wanted an excuse to like bring friends into a room and put a camera on us because we're all pretty funny and cool. So for those of you who don't know me, I used to be a stand-up comedian and I had a show at the Comedy Store called Ride or Die. And then I became an online fitness instructor during COVID. And I met Lara because you did my show at the Comedy Store, I think a couple times. Mm-hmm. And we became friends. And then I was talking to you and Nicole right when COVID started. The three of us were talking on Zoom, I think, or on the phone or whatever. We were
Instagram Live or something.
I think
Nicole and I were going live every night.
Yeah. And one day I was like, well, and I had just started personal training and I was like, well, I don't want to fucking get fat now that like we can't leave the house and I just started training people. And so I said, I don't even know who said it, but I was like, okay, well, I'll just put the three of us through like a stupid little workout tomorrow on Zoom.
Yeah.
So dumb, but I'll put us through some squats and lunges or something.
Yeah.
Just so we can like, keep our shit together.
Right.
And then I told Instagram that I was going to teach a free class the next day. And the next day, like 25 people came, and it was mostly comedians. It was mostly female comedians or comedian adjacent, and it was the most fun thing ever. And I remember I had a girl who I used to teach spin with, like when I first got sober. So like 2011, 2012. She had texted me and she's like, hey, why don't you teach, before we had this class, she's like, hey, why don't you teach a class on Zoom? And I was like, that's literally the dorkiest, dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, that's very sweet that you said that, but like, no. And then I did it with you guys in it. Now my entire life like revolves around Zoom. And so anyway, and the thing about Lara, I like to say, like, I feel like I have a cosmic connection to you because, like, when I'm telling people about you, I'm like, well, I helped her get fit and she helped me expand my business. Like, I really feel like we were really put in each other's lives. Like, aw, I know.
I can't get teary this early in the episode.
I know. So I started teaching the class like every day for free. It was like donation only. So sometimes I make nothing. Sometimes I make like $50, whatever. It was just like, if you have $1, okay, Venmo it to me, whatever. We're all on unemployment. Who cares? And I taught it that way for like a year and a half. And in that time, you lost like 40 pounds. And then, and you were the first one when I saw that you had lost that much weight, because I'd never done like really, I hadn't started any 8-week transformations with one-on-ones yet, which I started after that. But seeing you transform like that was the first thing that made me go, oh, maybe I'm like good at this. Like maybe I kind of like know what I'm doing. Maybe this is, and it felt like all of my skills were coming together at the same time. Like when I had been doing stand-up, I was like, I don't want people to know that I'm like training people. And then when I'm training people, I don't want people to know I'm a comedian. But then when I started teaching class during COVID, it was like all of me was coming together. Like I was able to like talk shit and like run a show and also help be of service and like do workouts. And so it felt like, and because, I always am suffering from imposter syndrome like nonstop. But the thing that I kept coming back to is like, well, I fucking did it for free for so long. So it's like, if you're doing it for free and you're good at it, it's like, all right, well, then you should be doing that, But your transformation was the one of the first like clues I had that like I was headed in the right direction. And then you went on Joe Rogan and you talked about my business like without telling me, which was like so gangster of you. Like I had no idea you were going to do that. Like, and I just remember you calling me or texting me. I can't remember. And you were like, just a heads up. I was on Rogan, like no big deal, And I did bring you up and we brought up your Instagram and talked about you. And I was like blown away. And my business like exploded after that because obviously, and ever since then, I've just felt so like connected to you and just so grateful to you for that, it really changed my life, and it's so obviously like you're going to be the first. And, so many women still who are in my program. So now I've been running School of Thought for 5 years and it's still growing.
It's almost
coming up on 6 years. That's crazy. And like, just so many women still will text me or say in class, like, oh, I found you from Lara Beitz. And like women who are now working for me. Like who are like a very big part of my life and my business. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm just finding out. I'm like, wait, you found me from Lara? Like, that's crazy. So I just was like, okay, well, I want to start a podcast, but obviously the first guest has to be Lara because anyone who takes my class probably found me from you or knows you. And I just love you. And I'm so grateful. And it just feels right to be back and like be talking to you and like everything in my body is just like, yeah, bitch, what the fuck were you doing living with a villager in fucking Greece? Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me and thank you for saying all of that. And I've been reflecting on it too about how like we both used what we had to like lift the other one up because you're still blown up and I'm still a healthy weight and I'm still fit and I'm still doing exercises that I learned in the first class, like in all of those classes. And I really wanted to change my body back then. Like for those who don't know, I was obese and I didn't have muscle. I was just really uncomfortable in my own body. And the way that you work is you build people's self-esteem while teaching them how to build muscle because it all happens together. Like it's the expression like you can't hate yourself into something you love. And I remember you saying things like you're already in your perfect body. You just have to unzip and release the rest of that. And like tell your stomach that you love it. Be like, thank you for protecting me. I will no longer be needing your services. And it blew my mind when you said that, when you said I'm already in my perfect body. And it built my self-esteem to get stronger. Like watching what I could do that I hadn't been able to do weeks before was so incredible. Because the hardest part is getting started. And then once you see the results, it's like, oh, this is the easier, softer way.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is really hard to start, especially if you have a shit ton of weight to lose because you feel like, well, I already fucked up. I'm already broken. This works for everybody else. It feels so overwhelming. Like you have to fucking push a boulder up a mountain. Like what's the fucking even point? Because you're not going to see results after the first day.
Yeah.
It takes a long time, but it's like as long as it took you to get out of shape, why would it take you like way less time than that? You know, like you walk all the way out into the woods, you got to walk all the way back.
Right.
So I think people get so attached to the timeline. I think that was the nice thing about COVID is that we were like, well, whatever about how long this takes. I mean, I might, whatever,
Right. No one's going to see me in God knows how long.
Yeah, exactly. But I think what you're saying about building self-esteem, it's like changing your self-concept, like rebranding your identity while you are learning to work out and practicing working out is so important because if you don't do that mental mindset work alongside of it, you might lose weight. Yeah, like tactically, if you do all the things, you're going to lose weight. But if you still identify as someone who is overweight and, you know, uses food, like you're going to gain the weight back.
Tries and then quits.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I think that is, well, and also you have so much like 12-step knowledge and stuff to, sorry, should I not have said that?
No, it's okay. Don't name specific programs.
No, yeah. But like you have so much spiritual, like you were already doing so much spiritual work on yourself that it just goes really hand in hand with that. And, you know, I spent so many years in AA, like it's sort of how I built my program. Yeah. You know, it's like showing up for other people because you don't want to disappoint them until you can learn to show up for yourself is like what keeps you coming back.
Yeah. And one of the concepts that like your program is so deeply rooted in that is a 12-step concept is the idea of taking the action and letting go of the result. Like a huge thing that you say over and over is this is what fit ladies do. I do this because this is what fit ladies do. And that connection to the process of just getting in the habit of taking the actions that fit people take. Yeah. The result follows. Yeah. And then once you have the result, it's easier to take the action.
Yeah, it's easier to identify as a fit lady once you start to look like a fit lady. Right. Yeah. But the trick is starting to brainwash yourself into identifying as a fit lady, which really just means behaving like a fit lady and then just trusting like your body's going to catch up in 3D when it catches up, you know? So, I mean, I really like, and I've been you know, the last maybe 6 months or so, really like talking in class a lot about becoming the highest version of yourself, like calling in the highest version of yourself, like in every decision, in every choice. What would the highest version of yourself do right now? And it's honestly the thing that helped me walk away from my marriage and move back here because it was like, yeah, for a long time, it felt like, well, the highest version of myself is like, I'm really trying to make this work, you know? And then I was telling you off camera, but whatever. I mean, like, I have no problem oversharing everything. The last thing, when my ex looked at me and said, I would rather live in a dumpster and eat trash than be with you. And I was just like, hold on a second. Let me take a quick, like, with the highest version of myself, what would she do if her husband said that to her? Yeah. Well, she would extract herself from that room. There's no way the highest version of myself is going to stay in a relationship with somebody who says that, even though I understand his trauma and I want to help him. And it's like, no. It's like a deal. It's like, okay, that's non-negotiable. And that has really like helped me. And it's like the things I teach, I'm teaching because I am trying to coach myself that way. You know, it's not like I'm up here being like, I've learned. It's like, no, dude, I'm trying to like do this shit on me nonstop, you know? And it became so clear to me, like, I cannot be just, you know, trying to empower women and teach women to call in the highest version of themselves and act like the highest version of themselves, then turn my computer off and get screamed at for 2 hours because a man said hi to me at the gym or whatever, or, you know, get accused of using him for Greek papers, which, by the way, has never happened in the history of an American ever, that an American is using a Greek villager for Greek papers. Okay. So it forced me to like hold myself accountable. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah, tell me.
I don't give half a fuck about anybody's trauma anymore. Yeah. I am done giving a shit.
I know.
I hear you and I can have empathy But I don't care
Yeah.
why someone treats me like shit
Yeah.
anymore if they treat me like shit.
Yeah.
I have an inner child too, motherfucker. I have trauma too, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm used to settling for way less than I deserve. And I don't do
know.
that anymore
Yeah.
out of protection for that person. So go heal. Happy healing. I
Yeah.
truly wish you the best.
I know.
I don't need to be a part of your journey any longer.
I agree. I feel like I finally have learned that lesson for real. Like, I feel like, you know, what I just went through in Greece, like, it was like, you know, I had a friend from AA tell me, the way he put it was like so great, because I was kind of feeling bad about myself. Like, God, like, how did I let myself, you know, like, I was verbally abused for 2 years. Like, how did I let that happen? How did I put myself in that situation? And he was like, Stasia, you just, that was like the one hallway you hadn't put the flashlight down yet. He's like, you built discipline in every part of your life, but you like did not put the flashlight down that hallway yet. And like, now you have.
Yeah.
And that hit me so much, because I was feeling guilt. Like, God, how did I, like, this is embarrassing. Like, you know, disappointed in myself because we had 2 dramatic breakups before the last breakup, you know, and I went back each time, like, hoping that like it was going to be different, you know. And when he said that, I said, you know, that really hit me, because I feel like that ex was the last one in a long string of men that I chose who reflected, you know, the part of me that still believed that I wasn't worthy of a man who could really protect me and provide. You don't need, you know, who can match me, you know. I wasn't worthy of a man being kind to me and like, you know, all the things that I am worthy of. And I feel like because of the way this breakup went, it was calm, like on my end. It wasn't like this big dramatic thing. And it felt like me calmly saying, okay, no, I'm not choosing this anymore.
Yeah.
That's it. This is no longer, I don't care how fucking hot you are. I'm good. Like,
He's not that hot.
it's kind of hot for me.
He's not hot enough for that.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, well, and part of it is there already is good coming from it, because you're being of service to other people by talking about that.
Yeah.
By being an example of like, yes, a powerful woman with self-esteem and success can still be in these situations. Because I relate to that.
Yeah.
I dated a guy who hit me when I was like 20 and 21. And I didn't leave him.
Yeah.
I didn't break up with him.
Yeah.
And I was so ashamed.
Yeah.
Because like I watched my mom be in a relationship like that and was always like, why are you staying?
Yeah.
You know? And then it happened to me. And it feels embarrassing.
Yeah.
And it cuts you off from the people who love you who would get you out of it because you're fucking embarrassed.
Yes. And I was doing that. I was already isolated because I was on a fucking island in the middle of nowhere. Surrounded by people who didn't fully understand me and who I, you know, okay, my mom was over there, thank God.
Right.
But, you know, I did feel myself, well, first of all, isolating, because when I went back to him for the last time, I hid it from everybody for a long time, for like 6 months. And I hid it from Whitney. I hid it from my best friend. And she fucking found out because the psychic told her, fucking rude. And I guess on my Instagram, I had taken like video, and he was like in a reflection of a mirror on a motorcycle. And she's like, you dumb fuck.
Yeah.
If you're going to post something like, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, I was isolating which was like, as an alcoholic, it's like my favorite thing to do is
100%.
isolation. But yeah, I was embarrassed too. But then, you know, it's actually a blessing is he had like one of his fits that he would have towards me, you know, once a week. He did it in front of my mom, and then he did it in front of Whitney. And then it was like, okay, I can't like protect you anymore. Like, I can't defend you or be like, okay, let me try to work through like, what, like, everyone sees now. Like, and they were like, okay, like, they were like, okay, you're going again. Okay, we're good. Like, God bless both of them. They were like, all right, we're going to be on your side. Okay, we can do
Yeah.
this, but then after that, it's like, they're like, is this how he acts all the time? And I'm like, no, it's like, but yeah. And
Yeah.
also my mom's like, if he's doing that in front of me, what is he doing when I'm not here?
Worse, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy
So-
I'm sorry.
No, go.
The guy that I dated, the woman he dated after me, which I know there was overlap, they moved in together and he threw a book at her head at a party that they had. And I wasn't there, of course, but I'm like, this is progressive.
Yeah.
Like, this gets worse.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get better,
Yeah.
if you don't treat that, it
Yeah.
gets worse. And
Yeah.
it was the classic, like, love bombing, then devaluation, then discard. But yeah, I was like, well, I'm glad I'm out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel a lot of things, but I mostly feel, and then I'll say this again, because we were talking about how your body tells you what the fuck is up before you're done lying to yourself,
Mhm.
because I had developed this like crazy pain in my right hip, in my right hip joint. And it was like, came out of nowhere. I didn't do anything weird in a workout. I didn't bump into anything. It wasn't muscular. I was trying to get it worked on, massage and everything. It would not go away. And the right side of your body is a masculine side, and your hips represent fucking everything, making decisions, taking the right step. And I had the thought, I bet if I left him, it would go away. And then I was like, shh, put that under the rug. Like, don't think that. And the hip pain got worse and worse and worse. This was like at the end of the summer. And then as soon as I left him, it fucking magically disappeared. It magically disappeared. So like it's like I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I already knew, but I was ignoring myself. I mean, that
Yes.
was the number one thing I've really learned is like, I already know.
Yeah.
I already know right away.
Yeah.
My body knows right away, but it's my job to not ignore it regardless of my feelings.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
literally what I teach all day, every day about working out. Like, you do the thing regardless of your feelings.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to do that when, like, unprotected sex is involved,
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah. Well, and do you remember when I was dating, no names, but the guy I was with when I moved into my apartment?
Yes.
I'm in now.
Yes.
I had that intuitive moment, and you always do. I remember I was in the bathroom and he was angry over whatever. I mean, it
Yeah.
takes nothing, and in my head and in my stomach has words, like,
Yeah.
and my stomach was just like, God, please get me out of this. And then I was like, if that's what you want, otherwise make it work out. And that would be great too. Totally available.
Yeah.
Totally. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I don't want to be, my rent just
know.
doubled. I don't
know.
want to be stuck with this rent,
Yeah.
And it was like, I think days later that I just was like, I'm not going to be spoken to this way. This feels disrespectful. I'm going to remove myself from this conversation. And he was like, if you don't come back here and talk to me about this, I'm leaving. And he fucking left the next morning.
Great.
And
Thank
you were the one who was like,
Congrats.
because I was just like, what am I going to do? How am I getting, he's not going to pay the rent. And you were like, change the locks and don't look back. You were like, get energetically, whatever he needs. Just,
Yeah.
sign the thing
Yeah.
that absolves him of all responsibility. The universe is
Yeah.
abundant. It's going to provide. And I did it, and I was scared shitless. And I've been there for almost 6
Yeah,
years.
you still
and
live
it's my
there.
favorite place
Yeah.
I've ever lived. And I believe it was just, my higher power's way
Yeah.
of getting me into a place that I wouldn't have chosen for
Right.
myself.
Yep.
And getting to split the security deposit, and he bought some furniture. So suck
Hey,
it.
listen, at least he gave you some money at
Yeah.
some point. That's
Yeah.
nice. Ow.
Half the
Yeah.
first 2 months
Okay.
rent. I'm so embarrassed by how short it was.
Oh, listen, dude. I mean, I supported this man for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm not fucking proud of that. So learned my lesson. Okay, well, we do have some questions from the fans when
That's
they
so
found that I was
exciting.
going to talk to you. And I have my yellow legal pad because this is my number one school
It's
supply.
really cute. It says Lara at the
It
top. You
does.
can't see it, but I really like it.
Okay, so I just put on my Instagram like that I was going to talk to you, and if anyone had any questions, and we got some. So you can choose to not respond to
Oh, of
or
course.
whatever.
I would even if you didn't say that.
Okay, good, perfect. Okay, Has there been any downside to losing weight?
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. And
That's really interesting. So, I mean, you get to keep the skin. I don't know if you knew that. So that is, I think I look older because people when I was heavier also always used to be like, oh my God, you're that age. I can't believe it. And nobody says that to me anymore. So that's one thing. Another thing is you see, and I hesitate even to say this because I don't want to bum anyone out, but it's an honest thing. And I think
Yeah.
people will relate who have been through this experience. You see how shitty you were treated when you were heavy. You see how differently people treat you. And like, I was an awesome person when I was heavier. I had a lot to offer, but I didn't even realize, like, as a culture, we make eye contact with people. Like, I remember when I just was walking around my apartment and like guys started looking me in the eye. And I'm not even talking about like smiling or hitting on me, but just people started looking me in the eye.
Like acknowledging
and I was like,
you.
holy shit, was I invisible? So that is something that was then retroactively painful. And the other side of that is like, oh, wow, I'm being treated better. So it was kind of like, you know, the two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, I'm being treated better. And then it's kind of shitty that I'm being, it's super shitty that I'm being
Fuck
treated
you,
better.
I'm being treated better.
Fuck you. Right,
Yeah.
totally. And I thought, well, another thing is like I had a joke where I like had my gut out of my pants and that stopped hitting. That was the downside. I'm really trying to think of everything because like, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I really recommend it. I really prefer it. And that question to me, I hear like, has there been a downside of putting down that 50-pound backpack that you had to carry around on your knees and your hips and your back and everything anytime you wanted to like get up to go to the bathroom? And that's why like I talk about fitness as being the easier, softer way. You still are going to have to stand up off a couch for the rest of your life. You're still going to have to carry groceries into your house.
At least a dumbbell you can put down at
Do
the end of the
that
workout.
shit for 30 minutes at a time. Exactly. And then be able to freely like get off the toilet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I just got diagnosed with autism at the age of 52. Any hot
Holy
tips?
shit. Well, you're not autistic, but I am. Dude, I'm so pissed that
Is
I
everyone
finally got
asking you this?
diagnosed. I've known for years and years and years that I was autistic. And now the second I find out, everyone's like, I'm autistic too. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're normal. Fuck you.
Okay, so what are the symptoms?
I'm kidding,
Like,
but I'm telling the truth. What did she ask? Advice?
well, she said any hot tips?
Hot tips on being autistic?
Maybe with dealing with the diagnosis?
So what I've done, I mean, being diagnosed was awesome and it enabled me to like meet myself where I was at. So once I knew that like I truly have cognitive limitations, it hasn't been in my head. I haven't been lazy. Like all those messages that I internalized going through school, I was always in trouble. Your girl did not get to go out for recess. Like it just didn't
Really?
go down.
Aw.
Yeah, all my stuff was so slop. You know, everything was so disorganized. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what the homework was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what people were doing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what was going on. And so now that I know that it is legit way harder than me, I stop comparing myself to like the productivity that I imagine of my peers. Like I can't sit down and write jokes for 8 hours. First of all, nobody does that.
Yeah.
But I can't do that. What I can do is set a timer. I don't set timers anymore, but I can be like, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I can do the real heavy lifting, which is getting out my notebook and opening it up and putting a pen in my hand.
How do you write jokes? Like, what is your process?
That.
Do you have a set time that you do it, or you just feel like something hits you and you sit down and do it?
It's whenever. It usually happens in the afternoon just because I have stuff where it really changes my day if I do it in the morning, you know? But no, it's just I have a list of stuff where I'm like, my numbers. I look at my budget and my money. I try to look at that for 10 minutes every day. I try to meditate for 5 to 20 minutes a day. The 5 is like obviously the low, but that's if I like so much don't want to do it. That's if it's the difference between me doing it and not doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just take some time to give
Well,
space,
I
you
think
know?
that is like the whole thing. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You just got to be pretty good most of the time. It's like,
Right.
if you expect yourself to fucking perfectly hit all the marks every day, whatever your marks are, yeah, of course you're gonna feel like a fucking failure because nobody's gonna hit it every day, and then you
Right.
just give up and you're like, fuck it. But if you allow yourself to be kind of shitty, like a 5-minute meditation is way better than 0.
Yes.
If you're like, oh no, I don't have to be fucking Thich Nhat Hanh today. I can just fucking close my eyes for 5 minutes. I don't even have to
Right.
be a good meditator. Just close your
Right.
fucking eyes, you
Right.
know? So yeah, I think that's helpful for people to hear. Like, you have to give yourself some like permission to
Yes.
suck at stuff
Yeah. And
or
it's
be whatever at it.
yeah, yeah. It's so funny, and I'm totally kidding, but it is funny that I describe my process to you, and you're like, "Yeah, it's okay to suck." And I'm like, "Well, I've actually been pretty pleased with how I've been doing, but I suppose that is also true."
I was saying, if you expect
I've written more
yourself-
jokes than I ever have in my life in a shorter period of time, but yeah, I guess it's okay to suck.
Okay, I understand how that came out wrong, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you expect yourself to
I
meditate
think it
20
came out
minutes
just right,
every
as a
day.
matter of fact.
Okay, what surprised you the most about School of Thought?
Oh, wow. Well, you got to understand, it wasn't School of Thought.
Yeah.
It was my friend doing
Yeah,
exercises.
So nothing.
What surprises me most at this point, having seen it unfold,
Yeah.
is that I'm still in shape.
Yeah.
And it's been like almost 6 years.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part to
Yeah.
me, is the sticking with it. Because
Yeah.
that never happened before.
Yeah.
And it's released like this animal in me. Like, there was a moment during class today, and I realized, because I was going to talk to you, that this always happens at a point during your class. It was at like maximum suck. We were like 40 minutes in, you know? And my stomach head just was like, this feels so good. And like, no, it did not, but it did.
Yeah.
And there's some part of me that like really wants that,
Yeah,
wants
like
to
that
like hurt from
meathead
trying
part of
so
you.
hard. Yeah, absolutely. And so I think like once I accessed that, I feed it now.
Yeah, that's hot, dude.
Yeah.
I love it when girls start getting fucking meatheady about it.
Yeah.
It's especially when they're like, you were completely not, I mean, you were so far from that.
Yeah.
And then to be in it and be like, like, get that, like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, you're like becoming a sovereign, not you specifically, but like, you know, one is becoming like a sovereign fucking being beast, you know?
Yeah. And you literally just have to have the motivation to show up for the first
You just got to press play.
Because then you take it from there. You're like, hey, you don't have to like this.
Yeah, yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah.
So let it suck. And something
Yeah.
that you said in the beginning that I really connected with is, this is crass and filthy and you're disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
But you were like, you can masturbate and watch The Walking Dead for the rest of the day. Nobody's going to work. Your shit is shut down.
Literally just what I was
We're
doing.
in lockdown. You're like, you get to be comfortable for the rest of
Yeah.
the day. You can control the temperature. You can eat whatever
Yeah.
you want, do whatever you want. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable for an hour,
Yeah.
for a 24th of your day.
Yeah.
And don't let your head talk you into being a little bitch.
Mhm.
And that's what I did.
Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting one. Have you ever encountered anything paranormal on your stand-up tour?
No.
Like hotels or weird Airbnbs?
No.
No.
I'm sorry for saying it like that. I believe that there are things that are real that I haven't seen, but I haven't seen them.
What's something people assume about you that is wildly wrong?
I think that at this point, people think that I think about myself differently than I do.
What do you mean?
I mean, people have started to like call me famous, and that doesn't, I feel embarrassed even saying that because that so doesn't feel right. But at the same time, I believe in manifestation.
Yeah.
So like in the privacy of my own home, I want to be like, I'm famous. I'm
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly how you mean.
Yeah.
Because I have a similar experience where people will be like, "Oh, you're blowing up," or this and that,
Right.
and I'm like, well, because what it is like they're not seeing the backstage in your mind. It's like
100%.
you're like, you haven't been in the green room of my life.
You don't know my ticket sales,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, it's
And
like,
that's like kind of all that
yeah,
matters.
yeah. So like, thank you so much for thinking like this is like some big but I think that really is like it's just okay, well, I want to like play along in that frequency because actually like you're seeing me how I should be seeing me,
Right.
instead of like I'm just playing it. I mean, do you ever have imposter syndrome? Have you ever had that or not really?
Can you
Like
define
say
like
what it
feeling
is.
like I don't deserve it or feeling like I'm not it?
Feeling like I mean, I sort of look at it as like feeling like I don't know what I'm doing or feeling like I'm in over my head or like I'm a fraud and people are going to find out uh,
Yeah.
or like, who do I think I am? Or like any or all of those
Yeah.
things.
With comedy, it's so funny because I have this paradox of like total entitlement. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be super famous, and I
Yeah.
believe that that's in store for
Yeah.
me. Just like wealth, like,
Yeah. All of
I've
it.
always just fully expected that.
Yeah.
Not always, but since I was like a few years into stand up.
Yeah.
Um, it's been very like black and white to me in my head,
Yeah.
as opposed to like the various grays of success. But
But
that's
that's
kind of how the business
good. I mean, you
is.
have to be a little delusional. I mean, I'm not saying that's
Right.
delusional because
Right.
I
Right.
believe that for you too.
It's okay to
be
suck.
fair,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay that you suck. Yeah. No, but I do think that
It's
that
good to be
is like
delusional.
I do think that no, but I think that is actually it is manifesting
Yeah.
is to walk around expecting that it's already happened.
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay, well, I know I'm this, so like that's actually very healthy. But I think we get it like trained out of us, like to be more humble or to be like not expecting too much because we don't want to be disappointed if it doesn't happen.
For sure. Well, and the paradox that I'm talking about is that there's this other side of me that does not think that I'm as
Yeah.
funny as
Mm-hmm.
people will tell me that I am. And I know that for, every one person who tells me I'm that funny, there are a lot of people who do not say that to
Yeah.
me. But yeah, like people will tell me I'm very funny and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't that doesn't align
Yeah.
with like how I
See
see
yourself.
myself. Yeah.
God, that's so interesting. Yeah. I think
It feels really good though. I try to
yeah.
let it in. But I think that is a fine line because it's like you also don't want to be a fucking asshole who's like, yeah, I am the best.
Yeah, I mean,
Although kind of why not? That does sound fun.
I think it's healthy to have like a certain amount of self-doubt. Like I think I I don't know. I mean, I think it keeps you trying hard, and also at the same time it's like a practice of expecting the best. Well, especially like the way, how I grew up. Like, the father I had, the things I like was programmed with maybe unintentionally, but like I remember the first time like I started making money and having a little success with my business and my dad's first words to me were, "Well, it's not going to last."
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God.
"Oh, that's why."
That's the voice.
Yes. I was
the
like, "Oh my
voice.
God, it's been you inside my head."
Yeah.
All that shit that I'm thinking like, "Oh, I'm going to fuck this up," or it's not even my own thoughts.
Right.
It's like, it's
Yep.
fucking you. And it was so funny because like when I came back from Greece, he goes, "Well, you really have the worst taste in men." I'm like, "Where
Why
the
do you
fuck
fucking
did you think I learned that?" But yeah. So I think it's.
That's so
I
funny.
know.
He insulted
I know.
himself.
I know. I was
so
like,
bad.
"Yeah, I sure do." Oh my God. Yeah, I think having like a little bit of self-doubt can be helpful because it like keeps you on your work ethic,
Mhm.
but then you really have to like turn down the volume on it and really kind of lean into like what other people might think is
Right.
delusional.
Yeah.
That isn't delusional because really anything is available to us.
You have to step into your power, and it's easier for me to see it on other comics. Like there was a
Mhm.
comic when I kind of first moved out here, and I had seen her on TV numerous times before I ever like she was famous to me,
Yeah.
And I got to do her show, and she complimented me. She was very nice after my set. And I was like, if you ever need an opener, I'm great. I know when to stop talking, when it's time to stop talking. I know when to be friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a solid hang, and that would be
Yeah.
awesome. And she was like, oh, I'm not at the point where I can bring my own openers. And I was like, that's what I don't want to be. I don't want to do that. Because I'm at the point where I can bring my own openers sometimes to the Holiday Inn in Victorville,
Fuck
California.
yeah, dude.
Which was not a bad show. I'll tell you what. I did that show a few times. Travis, if you're out there, I liked your show. But you let me bring an opener, which proves my point.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't even have to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to be disempowered by like that, because that's so limiting.
Yeah.
Like, you told yourself that. Therefore, that's true.
Yeah.
And that would
you
not
told
be true.
yourself that, and then you told me that, and now I'm going to believe that.
Right. I don't believe it.
Right.
But
I mean,
I believe
like,
that she believes it.
But what I mean is, like,
9 years later, and using her as an example of a disempowered person.
If you tell people you're not a big deal, they're going to believe you.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she's less famous than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, if you weren't doing stand-up, what would you honestly think you'd be doing instead?
Opening my wrists up in a bathtub. Next question. No. Oh, God, dude, it would be so ugly. I've never been good at anything. I've never been good.
What were you doing when I first met you? Because you still had your day job.
I was working with kids with special needs, and I fucking hated it. And I hated myself for hating it. I didn't like it.
How long were you doing that?
Years. 5 years, 6 years. But I was a counselor at summer and winter camps for adults with special needs from the time that I was in 7th grade through high school. So, like, I always liked that work, but there were so many things that I don't like. There were programs that I ran that now it's coming out like are potentially really destructive for people with autism. I was working with autistic people. I was not equipped to do that. You know? Like, that was, I have a joke about it, but it's 100% true. Like, that is how I realized I was one. I was like, we should not both be wearing earplugs right now. But it was, that, like, I was doing ABA therapy, and now it's coming out that can be really harmful, and that makes sense.
What is ABA therapy?
I don't even know. I don't even remember what it stands for, but it's basically like training autistic kids to blend in with their peers, essentially. And I didn't like it. And I was at the point, rock bottom for comedians is when they start thinking about grad school. And I was thinking about grad school. And then I got passed at the Comedy Store, and I got on late night, and I got, Rogan
it
noticed,
happened
and
like pretty
people
quickly.
noticed. It all happened at once. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about?
And that was when I got to quit that job.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about quitting comedy? Like, have you ever been to a point where you're like,
Never.
I should just fucking quit?
Never. Not since I started. And that's how I've like gotten as far as I have, is just because I've been like, well, I can't quit. I'm not going to quit.
Yeah.
I started as a hobby. I started for fun. My friend was doing it, and I wanted to be a comedian. More than anything in my whole life, but I wanted to be a comedian. Like, I wanted to be a butterfly. I didn't think it was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I went to an open mic, and I was like, oh, this is just people telling jokes they wrote.
Yeah.
And so I wrote jokes, and I started telling them, and it was my favorite thing I'd ever done.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never going to stop this.
Yeah.
I didn't need to get paid for it. And then I started getting paid for it. And then I started getting paid more for it than I'd ever gotten paid for anything, and sucking at everything else I did.
Yeah.
Just a terrible employee. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm untrainable. I can't,
Yeah.
That was like part of the autism diagnosis, is they showed me IQ test scores. And I'm like, that tracks. Like, that tracks.
Yeah.
Just having so many questions, not understanding a concept long after everybody else did, and people being like, straight up saying like, this is not that hard. And I'm like, it is though. So yeah, I believe I would be doing something that I don't like if I wasn't doing stand-up.
Yeah. How long were you doing stand-up before you got past the store?
9 years.
Wow. And that's like the hallmark, I think. Like, getting past at the store is like, there's nothing more awesome than that.
Oh, I thought you meant 9 years. Yeah.
No, like getting your name on the wall is like so amazing.
It definitely was the turning point.
Yeah.
It's when I got to quit my job. I'm partly it's when I got to quit my job because like, jump in the net will appear.
Yeah.
But they say like the time to quit your day job is when you can no longer successfully do both.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from someone. And when I got passed at the store, I would be there till 1 a.m. waiting
Yeah.
to do a spot because that's how they start you off.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're in development, you do the cold opens. And then when you get passed, you do the latest spot.
Yeah.
And after that, like they make monsters because you're
Yeah.
not afraid of bombing anymore because you've eaten shit a million times in front of a room that hasn't been warmed up and a room where everybody's shit-faced and people have cleared out except for like a fourth of the room,
Do you ever bomb still?
I mean, I have sets where I'm working.
Yeah, where you're
but
like
I
sweating.
I don't bomb like I used to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would bomb epically. I think we all, when we're like absolutely starting out, I'm sure I've had sets where there were like almost no laughs,
And are you able to like detach from that pretty quickly? Or does it like stay with you?
I don't like it. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But my lowest point with it is I will, and I mean, this is so funny because this is dissociation. Like, this is a skill that people shouldn't have. But I will, if it's going the worst it can go, at my worst, and I really try not to do this because I try to connect with people. I believe it's my job to like be of service, to be present, to connect with people. If I'm like, fuck these people, like if I'm in my absolute, I will detach from my body and allow my mouth to finish my set for me. I will detach from my body and be like, I'm straight up just saying the words to the rest of these jokes, and then I'm going to take my check and you can all go do whatever you're going to do. Like, I'll give you a show. I worked hard on these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you're a professional. Like,
I
you know
just
what
need
you're
to
doing.
leave the room now. I need to excuse myself.
Oh my God. What was the last like really hard bomb? Like, do you remember?
No.
That's good. That's very healthy. And like not normal. You know what I mean? Because it's like most people's worst fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Truly, So it's like pretty amazing.
I've always been pretty good at like leaving it on
Letting
the stage.
it go.
Yeah. I mean, it all wears off. It all wears off fast.
Yeah.
So there's like the high if you have a great set.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wears off
Yeah.
fast. And then there's the low of having a terrible set. That wears off fast too. What are you going to do,
All right, there's two more. Okay, I like
You're
this
looking
one.
at them like they're dipped in shit. Are they that bad?
No, I like this one.
Okay.
What would you tell your 25-year-old self, honestly?
Quit drinking now.
Yeah. Fuck. I know. Same.
And I mean, I'd dress it up more than that. I'd be like, it's the best thing that's
how
ever
old were
going to
you
happen
when you
to
got sober?
29.
Yeah, I was 28.
Yeah.
What are you no longer willing to tolerate in comedy and in life?
Ooh, that is, I'm glad you saved that for last. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of stuff. In comedy, I won't perform if I'm going to lose money. And for a long time, I did.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned the hard way. Taking a door deal when I had no idea how I was going to draw a crowd, and my flight cost more than I made.
Yes.
And that sucked. And that happened one time, and it has never happened again.
Yeah.
Because I don't fucking play with my money anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's so easy, I think, when you're starting off to just be like, I'll take anything. Thank you so much.
To.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about starting off. I'm talking about maybe like 6 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I never forgot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there may come a point if I'm like selling out everywhere I go. Okay, sure, let's reevaluate.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's one thing that I don't do. Other things I don't tolerate in comedy. Interesting. Tolerate is a really interesting word. I basically don't do shit I don't want to do anymore. Like, I'm not going to drive to Echo Park to do your show for $20.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's fun. You know what else is fun? Not doing your show. I'm going to have a lot of fun not doing your show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do this for a living. I don't do it for fun.
Right.
I have fun when I do it. I also have fun when I get my money in my hand,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something. And I mean, no offense. I think that people put on great shows that are fun. I also want to be clear that this is not a choice I made a year into doing stand up.
Right.
How
many years are in?
Almost 7 years into doing this as my full-time job.
Wow.
You know,
So like 16 years then you've been doing it?
I've been 15
15?
years doing it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
A
like
long time,
2006,
though.
but I started at the end of 20. I don't know, whatever. Long enough
Yeah.
to not do every show.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I did every show.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the money. I didn't ask for money. I took very little money, if any, and I, rode to the middle of Wisconsin and performed in sports bars where there were 10 TVs on and nobody wanted us there. And there were people playing arcade games, drinks getting shaken up. I didn't give a fuck. And I think that that's really important.
Yeah.
I think that that's just having a good work ethic. And it's like, do you want this or not?
And it just like, it foolproofs you. If
Yeah.
you can be funny in a room like that, like you're good. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, and it's made me really appreciate performing in
The Comedy
three
Store,
best
yeah.
clubs in Hollywood.
Do you ever go
you
to
know?
Austin? Would you ever leave LA and like move?
I mean, never say never, but I don't have
Yeah.
plans. You know what I mean? I love LA.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
It is nice to be gone for I mean, I was such a like fuck America, fuck LA, like
Yeah.
while I was living over there. And now I'm like, this is the greatest fucking country on the planet. Like I appreciate LA so much. I mean, it's so easy to hate on LA when you've been here for a while. I mean, I was living in Venice for 20 years, when I left. And now I was like I was just jaded, like
Right.
over it, And now I'm just like, oh my God, everything about this city is like magical. Like
Yeah.
just the people you run into, what they're doing. And it just every day it's like something happens.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
something cool can happen,
Right.
It's really, I mean, I was like living like a villager in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, and I almost feel bad because even when I was in Greece and I would tell people like, oh yeah, like I'm from LA. And their eyes would light up like, LA, oh my God, like, and I'd be like, oh no, like, it's stupid. Like, it's better here. Like, LA sucks. Like, I'd be like bursting their bubble. And it's like, no, they're right. It is fucking awesome
Yeah.
here. It is, everyone here has a dream.
Yeah.
And that's pretty magical, like to be in a place where like everybody's trying to make something,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's different than anywhere else in the world,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to not be like I know I came back to US when everyone's hating on US and I'm like, this is the best country ever. It's like coming off a little MAGA, I can understand, but it's not. It's like
It's
a
really
newfound
not.
appreciation.
Yeah.
Like, go live abroad for 2.5 years and you will
Yeah.
appreciate putting your fucking toilet paper in the toilet every time you take a shit.
Right.
I mean, even that, like, we don't even realize how crazy that is. Like, what a luxury that is.
It's stuff you wouldn't think of. It's
Yes.
like, oh, we have unsweetened chocolate almond milk here.
Yeah, totally.
You know? Like, that's bomb.
Yeah. No, you can't get fat-free milk there. Like, that's
You can't
not,
get fat-free milk
no,
there.
No.
And it's so funny because like looking at you living that life, it was beyond picturesque. Like it was so indescribably beautiful.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean about like being away from home and being like, oh, the apples they don't have my kind of apple.
Yeah.
Just like little things.
Well,
that
and I
you
felt
wouldn't
like
expect to miss.
I didn't have a personality, really. Like I would.
I'm sure you had a personality.
Yeah, an annoying one. If you're a Greek man, an annoying one. But I'd be like in a small group of people. Like I remember one time, like we had like 2 massage therapists come to the house to get massages, and we were all chatting, like the 4 of us. And I said something. It wasn't even a joke. It was just like a throwaway line, but it was enough for a chuckle. Like if I'd been here, it would have been like, oh yeah, something like that. And I said it, and it was just crickets. And I was like, okay, guys, I'm sorry, but if you were Americans, you would have laughed at that. And they're like, okay,
Right.
relax,
That would
but
kill me.
it was started to kill me
Yeah.
because I was like, I am not funny here. I'm not even like, I'm like a non-person here.
I'm not shining.
I'm not shining. Like
Yeah.
and if I say a joke and it gets misinterpreted, which it did a lot, then I'm like in trouble.
Right.
So that is one thing. Like I understand people are not feeling like freedom of speech is really alive here right now, but it fucking is. Like, it is so meaningful to be able to say something and have the person you're talking to understand every little nuance of what you're saying,
Right.
and not having to be like, no, like, not having to explain every
Yeah.
little thing. It's really wild. And I think there was a part of me that, like, I chose to be with a man. Like, you were talking to me about like feminine and masculine energy, and it's like so hard for me to be like in my feminine energy, and you too. And like the only way I could be like in feminine energy was to like be with a man in a country where I don't speak the language and he's forced to do everything for me.
He doesn't know what you're saying, and you're helpless.
I was like, well, I guess I'll take his lead, because I literally
so
cannot
funny, dude.
fucking like, I can't like get around without, okay, there's a lot of English spoken, but still, like, if you're dealing with the utilities, like, the dumb shit you don't
Right.
even think about, like paying the fucking power bill or something like that. And, even getting a divorce, I went to like by myself to like get the paper declared, and the lady's just speaking Greek to me really fast. And I know like a few sentences, but like not enough to like do a divorce deal in Greek. And she's like, and basically she was saying like, you can't fucking do this because you don't understand what I'm saying. Like, you need to speak Greek. So I'm like panicking alone in this like city hall in Greece, like being like, no, you have to give me this divorce. Like, I'm leaving in 2 days. Like, I need to be free. And so like I called my lawyer, whatever. She came down and did the whole thing. But little things like that where you like lose your autonomy because it's just like, well, you don't fucking belong here,
Yeah.
So it's so nice to, and even just like going to the grocery store and like not knowing what people are saying around you is fucking a trip. And I think there is like a part of me that feels comfortable, like being on the outside, I think, and I think I get that from my mom. Like, my mom is adopted. She's like comfortable being on the outside of everything because that's how she entered the world, like literally on the, And so I was kind of comfortable, like, oh, I get to like check out and not have to like do everything all the time for everything. Like, I can just kind of, there's nothing I could do. You know what I mean? I can't control anything because I don't have any fucking clue, like, if this person is talking shit to my face or not. They might be.
Right.
Or if this person is fully scamming me to my face, they probably are. Like, I can't, So I feel like there's like this weird part of me that wanted that. Like, to just not have to do everything all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I was half kidding when I said to Stasia before we started rolling, I was like, I'm done being in my feminine energy.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. I'll find some like beta dude
Yeah.
who's cool with it. And I met someone who was like, oh my God, like there are men who love that, who would love to be with a woman who's like more powerful, more successful than they're like, that's not all guys want to out earn and out succeed their female partners. But there is like, now that I think about it and going back to the question of like, what do you no longer accept from the world? I don't really put more energy into things than I get back from them.
Yeah.
So like with dating, if a man doesn't ask me out, I'm sure as shit not asking him out,
Yeah.
And if he doesn't take the initiative to like confirm the day before, like I'm not holding space on my calendar, in my schedule, like I'm just, and to that end, I will say to someone like, please confirm with me the day before, because it took energy not to do that. And I have female friends who are dating who are like, he hasn't confirmed, we're supposed to meet in 3 hours. What do I do? And I'm like, tell him to confirm next time.
Because you're like, am I fucking taking a shower and doing my hair? Like, what?
Am I a dick if I don't show up?
Yeah.
But I'm not getting ready for that.
I know.
It's too much energy compared to what I would be getting back. And like, I'm willing to put in that energy if I'm met with energy.
Yeah.
But I don't put in work for stuff that, and I consider, I've never thought of it this way before, but when I'm talking about energy, I consider money a manifestation of
It
energy, you
is.
know?
It's all energy. It's
Yeah.
all energy. And I think like the being in your feminine is more just like being open to receiving, you know?
Mm,
It's not necessarily just like, okay, you can do it. Oh,
right.
you know, it's like, oh, I'm like, I'm not going to force everything. I'm not going to control everything and force everything. I'm going to like allow things to come to me. But yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, I was like, ah, I'm done with American men. Like, I need like a fucking man, and I fucking got like,
Yeah.
I got it. And let me tell you something: these beta American men are looking pretty good to
Yeah.
me now. You know, there's like can we meet in the middle? You know,
100%.
like there's a lot of the Greek men I met. I mean, there's like a lot of anger and like it's like it's a thing, you know. It's
Yeah.
like there's been no work on themselves, like it's you know.
Yeah.
And like Greek women will fucking tell you like, oh no, not a Greek man. I'm like, well, the American ones aren't much better. I mean, I just we need people to just like do work on themselves, like
Yeah.
regardless of where you're from, like just take some accountability
Yeah.
for your actions. And like I don't need to have like a big alpha man. I don't want a beta man. I would like someone to like meet me at my energy, you
Yeah.
know, like be able to take care of yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
be able to like calmly communicate what you're feeling,
Yeah.
you know, like that would be like a great start.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think it's also hard to know because it's like, I think in some ways people are too picky now,
Mm-hmm.
but let shit slide that we shouldn't
Yeah.
let slide.
Yeah.
Like I try, if I'm like swiping through my thing, I try to be like, is this 80% of what I want with no deal breakers? You know?
Yeah. What are deal breakers for you?
If someone definitely wants kids, if someone smokes
You
cigarettes.
don't want kids?
I don't know that I do. I also
Yeah.
don't know
If you don't.
what I got going on. You know,
Yeah,
could
yeah.
just be a tumbleweed. I don't know what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was the other one you said? Drugs? Smoking?
Cigarettes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't do well in Greece.
Or
They all
like
smoke.
certain jobs, you know,
Yeah.
just things. But
Having a job. Having a job.
you gotta have a job.
Finally.
Honestly, I swipe left on anyone who doesn't answer those questions. Like if I can't see what you do, if I can't see, because I've had enough of those conversations to be like, well, I ended up not dating those men anyway. You know, I won't respond to someone who just says hi, how are you? I won't respond to someone who just says hi. Like you have to ask me like a thoughtful question.
Yeah. Are you on the apps right now?
I'm just on Hinge.
I'm on Hinge too, but I haven't seen. I mean, I don't know why.
I've been on
I'm
dates with good guys, and
Yeah.
I was with someone, we were dating for like 2 months or something, and he was great, and we ended up not being the right person for each other.
Yeah.
You know, he did things that annoyed me, and I could see that I was doing things that annoyed him.
Yeah.
And I knew that those things were not going anywhere.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I know
yeah.
that that just gets worse.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about when I say like not to let stuff slide.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't want to have 1,000 fights about this thing. It's just an incompatibility.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And it doesn't mean that either one of us is not awesome. It's just, I'm going to go back to.
Yeah. I think I let so many things slide because I was like, well, he's Greek. It's Greek. It's like a cultural thing.
Right.
So we need to be like a little more patient and like learn, because we're literally learning two different cultures, which is partly true. Like that is true. But it wasn't.
Right.
Because he's Greek.
Right.
Like there were bigger problems than him being Greek,
Yeah.
you know? So I think it's like, I think my biggest lesson was like, because I feel like I can fucking convince myself of like, I make such a good lawyer to myself, you know? Like I can fucking convince
100%.
myself of anything. So I think like the thing I've really learned is like, don't ignore yourself when you know. Because I knew, if I'm being brutally honest, I knew before I went to Greece.
Yeah.
He already showed me something.
I remember.
Yeah. He already showed
He was
me.
being like an insane jealous
Yeah.
asshole
He
about
already
some
showed
like
me.
joke one of your friends made.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, I also got in trouble because Nicole has an OnlyFans for her feet. I got in trouble. I got in trouble for that. I was like, okay, right now we're really like Nicole's foot OnlyFans.
Right.
I'm
I'm not gonna
like,
get in trouble for my friend's feet.
um, yeah, is not ignoring that part of you that already knows just because you want it to be something else, you know? And then once I was in it, it's like, you know, I'd invested so much into like moving to Greece, you know, it's like a
Right.
big fucking thing that I was like, well, I'm going to make this work. And like, you know, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah,
had
there's
to
that
go
like
through it.
sunk cost fallacy where you're like, I've already put so much into this
Mm-hmm.
that it has to work out now.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say at this point, I don't think anything has to work out.
No.
I used to see it as like marriage is the finish line. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And now I've lived long enough to see enough divorces that I'm like, that's just more relationship.
Yeah.
That's just a relationship with more paper, you
Yeah.
know? And I've seen people who live together and break up. And I'm like, that looks pretty tough.
Yeah.
I've done it before. But like that it's all the same thing. And I
Yeah.
also know, you know, from like programs, women who are in their 60s and 70s and are dating.
Yeah.
Women who are in their 80s and dating, because there's fucking 80-year-old dudes. Is that the life I would draw up for myself if I got to? Is that my daydream? No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not. But there's no like ending point until you die.
Yeah. There is no, I mean, I will say, I think that I will never live with a man again.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember you telling me not
I've
to
said
live with
that
a man
before.
until I'm engaged.
I said that?
Yeah, you said that. It was after.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't after this one. It was
That's
after
nice to know we
another one.
change our minds a lot.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I will ever. No,
I
I
think you
don't.
will.
I mean, maybe, who knows? I'm not saying it'll never happen, but I really like love having my own space. And I think it is important for a woman to like have a room of her own, you know? It
Mhm.
just, and also it just does make it so much less sexy, you know? Like I
Yeah.
don't need to fucking smell every time you take a shit. Like you at least have to have your own room and your own bathroom.
I don't need you to see me in like a top bun and no makeup
Yeah.
90% of the time you see
Correct.
me and
Yeah.
sweats, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I don't know when I'll be ready to date again, but if I am in a relationship again, I want to have my own.
You will be in a relationship again.
I know. I'm still like in the kind of like angry man hating phase. I'll be out of it soon. But
I know what you're talking about, and I feel the same way. And that's probably my biggest apprehension about getting into a relationship is that I love having a one-bedroom apartment to
yeah.
myself. I love
Yeah.
having my specific one-bedroom apartment to myself, and it's cute, and I
Yeah.
decorated it, and I don't want your poster on
No.
my wall. I don't want
No.
your dumb shit.
Uh-uh.
I don't want your shit there.
Yes.
I don't want anyone else's shit there.
Nope.
And I don't want to move into a two-bedroom with although I could see that. That would be cool.
A 2-bedroom
But
is nice.
I get everything that you're saying. I still think that there's a world in which it works. But man, that would have to be a hell of a relationship.
To give up that apartment.
I'm not giving up this apartment until I'm like,
No, you shouldn't.
I'll marry this
Engaged.
person. Until I'm
Yeah.
engaged, dude. Real talk. And that shouldn't take that fucking long.
No. Is that what you're like wanting to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next guy I date, I want in a year. I
Yeah.
want in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've
Mhm.
lied to myself for a long time and been like, whatever, it's not that big a deal.
Mhm.
No, I want to get married. And
Mhm.
if you've dated me for a year, you know if it's going
Yeah,
well
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the reason that the other ones who didn't propose to me is like they didn't want to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be with someone.
Who doesn't want to?
I broke up with my last serious boyfriend. I think I told you this because I watched the beginning of the first episode of The Golden Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
she
yes.
said that her late husband made her feel special and safe every day. And I was like, I do not feel special or safe. And I like wrote about it and I brought that to my guy. And I was like, I want to feel this way. Like, I want to be in a thing where the person's like, you have nothing to worry about with other women because
I
no
wanna be
other
in The Golden
woman could
Bachelor.
ever be like, I want to
Yeah.
be with someone where I feel safe in a body as it ages,
Yeah.
where my skin changes,
Mm-hmm.
where I change.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this person can't do that.
Yeah.
And that was when I ended it. That was like the final thing where it was a light bulb moment where I was like, I don't feel special and safe. And I'm like,
Yeah.
can you make me feel special and safe? And like, you just
Yeah.
can't,
No.
you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Like I really got obsessed with getting fake tits over the summer.
I
Like I
know, I really didn't
couldn't.
want you
No, I
to.
know, I know. I couldn't stop. Like I
Yeah.
just couldn't stop obsessing over
Yeah.
it. And I was like, okay, I've always kind of like, played with the idea, but never seriously. Like I don't think I could never really I actually was like very philosophically against it most of my life. And
Yeah.
then as I got fitter and lost my tits completely, I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
They're
listen,
gone.
well, there's a downside for
They're
losing
gone.
weight, you know?
That's true. But they were never great in the
Yeah.
beginning.
But like, I really got so obsessed with getting tits. And I was like, okay, well, it's because I'm like surrounded by hookers and Mykonos. Like, but really it's because I was feeling this like disconnect from even though he would say like, oh, no, 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 no. But I'm like, no, you don't want me to get him because you don't want me to get like more attention.
Right.
You don't,
That was
it's
the
not,
first thing that popped into my
yeah,
head.
it's not that you don't want, because like, of course they would be fun for you, you
Right.
know, whatever. But ever since I've been away from him, I haven't wanted to, I've been like, that whole desire has like completely gone away. And that also was something that really kind of shook me because I'm like, I don't want to do that. So nothing against anyone who does. Fucking do it. They look great,
Yeah.
But like, I personally don't want to do that. I don't want to like cut open my body and go
Yeah.
through that. I don't want to.
Right.
But I was like ready to I had a consultation scheduled. Like I was ready to like cut myself open because I was like, maybe then, I think part of me was thinking like, maybe then it will bring us together more. Like that is going to make the attraction stronger or like keep him from, fucking 18-year-old girls or whatever like
Right.
that's not feeling safe and secure with somebody,
Yeah.
Again, this is nothing against anyone who wants to get fake to fucking get them.
It's not about that.
It's not about that. It's
Yeah.
like me wanting to do something that I didn't actually want to do because I was missing something in the relationship,
Yeah.
missing like the feeling of safety in the relationship. Anyway. All right. Well, I mean, I feel like we did like a pretty good podcast,
We did
right?
a
This is
pretty
the
good
first one. I mean,
podcast.
I don't know how to end it, but I guess we just go like, okay, thanks.
Let me think if there's anything else I want to say.
Yeah, plug something.
I don't think so.
You have dates coming up? Plug all your dates
I do
because I
have
think it'll
dates.
come out soon.
I do have dates coming up. I have a special called Stoppable. It's out on.
So fucking funny.
Thank you.
I watched it in Mykonos.
Thank
just
you
like
for watching
it made
it.
me so happy to watch. Like, it's funny the things that I would watch there to make me feel like connected,
Yeah.
And I actually watched it with even a Greek man was laughing at that.
Really?
Yes.
Why does that feel good? I'm sorry.
It is.
Because I don't think we have that in common.
Right. And
you
it's
know what
not
I mean?
like it's hard to translate everything like culturally, but like it did. It was so fucking funny, dude.
That's cool.
It was so great.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't watched it, you have to watch it. It's on Amazon Prime, right?
It's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, and it's out on YouTube now. It's on like Tubi. There's a list. It's out. It's out. Stoppable. And I have a Patreon. I just pushed my Patreon again today. I've had a Patreon for over a year. I do 3 8-minute videos a week, and I have like 10 paid subscribers.
Hell yeah, dude. Those are OGs.
But I talk about whatever on it, like it really is like I talk about stuff I don't talk about anywhere else because like nobody's watching, you know? And you can see me go through that in the videos. I'm like, well, fuck it. And then I share
and her
stuff.
Patreon is connected to my Patreon too, so you can find it through mine if you're looking for hers.
Thank
or whatever.
You so much. That's
right.
Cool.
There's like a connect.
Possible, but
there's like a whatever.
Yeah, it said you like recommended it. So I have that, and then coming up, I'm going to be in Texas, Tyler, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas is coming up. I'm going to be in Cincinnati, in Dayton. I'm going to be in Boston and Springfield, Massachusetts, Your girl's on the move. I have a bunch of
Damn.
Northern California dates coming up. My car is being hot wired outside. And that's what I can think of off the top of my head. But the best way to see all my stuff is on Instagram at Lara Beitz, LaraBeitz. And then I have a link tree in my bio with stand-up, special link, everything.
Yeah.
All links to all that stuff. And I'm on Cameo.
Oh, you
if
are?
you want a Christmas present for someone last minute. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I have a new session of thought certification starting January 5th. Enrollment ends New Year's Eve, and it's 8-week accountability program. So you will do 3 of my strength workouts a week. You will walk 10,000 steps a day. You will drink a gallon of water a day, and you will follow your personalized macros and send in your stats every night to your accountability group of 5 other women. And we will not let you ghost yourself. And because of that, it works. So if you are interested, you can go to my Instagram, which you're probably on watching this, and sign up, the link in the bio. Although that's like not cool to say anymore, but whatever.
Why is that not cool to say?
Because now you're supposed to be like, DM me fucking thought, and I'll send you the
Oh, I didn't
whatever.
know that.
Yeah, whatever. I got a marketing girl, and now I'm like learning how
Oh,
to.
that's good to know.
Yeah,
I always just say the links in my bio because
Yeah,
I won't respond to
that's
people.
because that's our age, what we're doing, but it's not what the kids are doing
Damn,
anymore. The
all
kids
right.
are going, DM me comedy, and I'll
All
send
right.
you whatever. Anyway, so thank you for watching the first Thoughts and Prayers. And
Oh my God, that's such a funny name.
it's cute, right? Thoughts and Prayers. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for
And you're
being-
welcome for joining
Yeah.
you. That was the only thing you
thank
missed. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
It was such an
I'm like,
honor
how
to
do
be on
I
the
do
first
this?
episode.
Thank you so much, Lara,
You're
for
so
being my
welcome.
first guest.
Truly, I appreciate that.
All right, guys. Thank you. And bye.
What's your sign off? Yeah, line.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.